Karl Toriola, the boardroom commander who turns signals into strategy. In the high-stakes world of telecommunications, where technology evolves faster than yesterday's headlines, leadership requires more than technical brilliance. It demands clarity, courage, and the ability to see opportunity where others see static. Enter Karl Toriola, the calm, calculating strategist steering MTN Nigeria through one of the most competitive telecom markets in the world. His journey is not merely a corporate success story. It is a masterclass in leadership, resilience, and the art of turning complex problems into scalable opportunities. Series Introduction. It's Monday the 16th of March 2026. Welcome to the 122nd edition of The Entrepreneur. In this series we take a deep dive into the life and entrepreneurial journey of Karl Toriola, the engineering strategist who has taken MTN Nigeria to another level. If you are visiting us for the first time, please subscribe, smash the like button, share this video and help us grow our family. If you have already subscribed, then show your support by liking the video and making a comment. Now let's jump right back in. From curious mind to corporate climber. Every great career begins with curiosity. For Karl Toriola, that curiosity was directed at technology and systems, how they work, how they scale, and how they shape the world. With a strong academic foundation and an engineer's analytical mindset, he developed the rare ability to understand both the mechanics of technology and the economics of business. This dual perspective would later become his secret weapon in the boardroom. While many executives grow into strategy, Toriola grew through it. Every role became a laboratory for learning, sharpening operational insight, building commercial acumen, and developing a leadership style rooted in clarity rather than noise.
The quiet strategist who rose through the ranks. In the corporate world, there are leaders who burst onto the scene, and then there are those who rise with quiet precision, accumulating experience, credibility, and influence long before the spotlight finds them. Karl Toriola belongs firmly to the latter category. His ascent within the broader ecosystem of MTN Group was not the result of a single breakthrough moment, but rather a series of deliberate steps taken across multiple markets, functions, and leadership roles. Each position added another layer to his understanding of telecommunications, not just as a technology business, but as a complex intersection of infrastructure, regulation, finance, and consumer behavior. Before taking the reins at MTN Nigeria, Toriola had already built a formidable reputation within the MTN network. His earlier leadership roles across different African markets exposed him to some of the most demanding operating environments in the global telecom industry. These were markets where infrastructure challenges, evolving regulations, and intense competition were everyday realities. Instead of treating these complexities as obstacles, Toriola treated them as classrooms. Working across different territories sharpened his ability to balance global strategy with local nuance, a critical skill in a company that operates across diverse economies and regulatory frameworks. He learned how spectrum policies influence growth, how network investments drive market dominance, and how customer behavior shifts in emerging digital economies. But perhaps more importantly, he learned how large organizations truly work. Corporate leadership, after all, is not simply about strategy decks and executive meetings. It is about aligning thousands of employees, navigating stakeholders, managing regulators, and building systems that can scale without collapsing under their own weight.
Toriola's steady rise through the MTN ranks demonstrated a rare combination of technical understanding and commercial instinct. With an engineering foundation, he could speak the language of network architecture and infrastructure investment. With years of executive experience, he could also interpret balance sheets, market signals, and shareholder expectations. That hybrid perspective made him particularly valuable in telecommunications, an industry where technological decisions and financial outcomes are inseparably linked. His leadership trajectory within MTN also reflected a broader truth about modern corporate success: the most effective executives are not always the loudest voices in the room. Often, they are the most prepared. By the time Toriola was appointed CEO of MTN Nigeria in 2021, his promotion felt less like a sudden elevation and more like the logical next chapter in a carefully built career. He was not simply stepping into a prestigious role, he was assuming responsibility for one of the most strategically important markets in MTN's global portfolio. Nigeria is not just another telecom market, it is the largest for MTN, with tens of millions of subscribers and enormous digital growth potential. Leading such a market requires deep institutional knowledge, operational discipline, and a leader capable of navigating both government corridors and competitive battlegrounds. Toriola arrived in the CEO's office with all three. And true to form, he did not arrive with noise or spectacle. He arrived with strategy. The boardroom style, calm, calculated, commanding. Karl Toriola's leadership style is not theatrical. It is tactical. In boardrooms often filled with loud opinions and competing egos, he operates differently, measured, analytical, and intensely focused on outcomes. His approach blends three powerful traits.
Strategic patience. He understands that sustainable growth is a marathon, not a sprint. Operational discipline. Execution, not intention, separates great companies from average ones. Data-driven clarity. Decisions are grounded in numbers, trends, and long-term vision. The result is leadership that inspires confidence not through charisma alone, but through consistency and credibility. Steering a telecom giant in a hyper-competitive market. Nigeria's telecom industry is one of the most dynamic in Africa. With over 200 million people and an insatiable demand for connectivity, the stakes are enormous. Under Toriola's leadership, MTN Nigeria has focused on expanding digital infrastructure, strengthening financial services, and deepening broadband penetration. The mission is clear: transform a telecom operator into a full-scale digital ecosystem. It's not just about calls and data anymore. It's about powering Nigeria's digital future. Entrepreneurial thinking inside a corporate giant. Although he leads a massive organization, Karl Toriola thinks like an entrepreneur. That mindset shows up in how he approaches growth. Building platforms rather than products. Investing in long-term infrastructure. Creating digital services that scale across millions of users. In essence, he runs MTN Nigeria not merely as a telecom company, but as a technology platform for economic participation. That is entrepreneurial thinking at corporate scale. Leadership lesson number 1: master complexity. The telecom sector is layered with regulation, infrastructure demands, competition, and rapidly evolving technology. Toriola's career shows that leaders who thrive in complex industries do not oversimplify problems, they learn to manage complexity intelligently. Great leaders don't avoid complexity. They organize it.
Leadership lesson number 2: global perspective, local execution. Having worked across multiple markets, Toriola understands the value of global exposure. But he also knows that strategy only succeeds when adapted to local realities. The best leaders borrow ideas globally and execute them locally. Leadership lesson number 3: consistency builds trust. Markets fluctuate. Regulations shift. Technology evolves. In the middle of this constant change, consistency becomes a leader's greatest currency. Toriola's calm, disciplined leadership style sends a powerful signal across the organization: stability drives performance. Leadership lesson number 4: think long-term in a short-term world. Quarterly pressures can tempt executives into short-term thinking. But infrastructure businesses, especially telecommunications, demand patience. The networks built today will power economies tomorrow. Toriola's strategic lens reflects this long view, prioritizing investments that will shape Nigeria's digital economy for decades. Beyond the boardroom, building digital futures. Leadership in telecommunications is no longer just about connectivity. It is about enabling commerce, education, innovation, and opportunity. Under Karl Toriola's watch, MTN Nigeria continues expanding the infrastructure that powers digital payments, mobile services, and internet access for millions. In many ways, the work of telecom leaders like him quietly shapes the future of entire economies. Final signal: the power of measured leadership. Karl Toriola's story is not one of overnight success or flamboyant disruption. It is a story of steady ascension, disciplined leadership, and strategic thinking executed over decades. In a world obsessed with loud leadership, he represents something refreshingly powerful, the quiet authority of competence. Because in the end, great leaders don't just send signals. They build the networks that carry them.
If you would like to know more, or wish to discuss brand sponsorship of any of our videos on entrepreneurship, please get in touch on any of the social media handles below. All our content is developed from real-life experiences in a professional and entrepreneurial journey that spans across 8 countries and 4 decades. Quote of the week: perfection is not attainable, but if we chase perfection we can catch excellence. Vince Lombardi.